going on, folks? Right now we're headed up to Aleem's house. He's the one that helped us put the head and cam together on the Fox, and right now he's installing a new head on his Foxbody, which is a little bit different than what folks are used to seeing. His build is a 4-cylinder turbo from, it's actually kind of a Frankenstein motor, but the setup is similar to what you would see in an SVO Mustang, like an old SVO Mustang. So we'll be there in a couple of minutes, and we'll take a look and see what he's got going on. All right, so we're at Aleem's place, and here's one of his goodies here. This is a 73 Vette Stingray. As you can see, it's not in great condition, but the motor is immaculate. And this is a straight up race motor. It's race gas only. It was a 350, right? 350. Yeah, it's almost 500. 500 horsepower, 350, and it does run and drive, but you don't want to run and drive this thing anywhere in the condition that it's in. And here's the project of the day. This is the 2.3, right? The 2.3 turbo head, custom combustion chambers, and
valve train, and all
valve
that.
train, custom everything basically.
Heavily ported.
Yeah, so cool stuff here. Fuel rail, turbo. That's the most important part.
That one's off your 98 Dodge Cummins 3500.
Okay, so we got the Cummins turbo. And that's going to be going on a little bit later. So let's go take a look at the Fox and see what that thing looks like.
I need to trim this down a little bit.
All right, so here's the 93 Fox. 5-lug conversion on it. Pretty much he went to the Maximum Motorsports website and ordered everything off of it. So it's got the Maximum Motorsports full suspension, K-member, and whatever else you can get from Maximum Motorsports, camber plates. All of this wiring, it's a custom wiring harness that he made himself. See the mini starter down here. This is a 2.5 block from a Ranger with a V8 adapter plate on it, and that's a TKO transmission down there in the back. The whole bottom end is built, and you can't actually see it on camera, I don't think, but one of the tricks that they use is they actually fill the block with cement halfway in order to get the block to support more power for more boost. So that's what it looks like. The engine bay is pretty clean. You know, custom catch can, overflow, all of that stuff. The head gasket that's going on here is just a run-of-the-mill standard head gasket, and that's basically to keep from destroying other parts when you run too much boost. When the head gasket blows, you know, you have to shut it down before something bad happens. Look how that intercooler mount job. And then around back, ooh, check that out. Very nice, very nice. Out back you got one single tailpipe and a nice fuel cell with a giant fuel pump on the inside to keep this thing nice and fed. Alright, so set it down. Alright, let's go. Alright, gotta go slow. Gotta go slow. Hold on, it's not right. Alright, so we just dropped the head down onto the motor. This whole unit with the turbo and the intake manifold and everything weighs about 120 pounds. That's solid iron for you. We're going to go ahead and put the rockers on top of the lifters. This is a solid lifter motor. It's got these things on it. Don't really know what they do, but he's going to explain that in a second. Here's the ARP studs going in. That's how they sit in there. They just.
And then I gotta set the lash after I get the rockers in.
All right, we had to take a break because we got rained on. It's dark now, but we're out here finishing by flashlight. What we're doing now is setting the valve lash. So Aleem's got a feeler gauge over here, and we have to set the gap between the cam lobe and the rocker, and this is the lifter down here. So what we're doing here is we're actually cranking the lifter up, getting that
right there. Okay. Go back, loosen up a little bit. There you go. That's perfect right there.
And we have to get the exact gap between, which one is it? Between there.
Yeah.
And it looks like we just hit the gap. So now that we have the gap, we have to tighten this screw down.
Jam nut.
And that holds everything into place. This is extremely fun stuff. If you ever build a car, this is the most fun part.
Actually, can you tighten up the lash a little bit?
Tighten it up again?
Yeah, we're a little loose.
Hold on 1 second.
Right there.
All right. Those type of minuscule adjustments is all it takes. And then when we go and we put this on there, it's probably actually going to change the whole clearance. And then you have to mess with it. Now that we have properly lashed the exhaust valves, we're going to put these little retaining clips back on. You call these mouse traps. And what they do is they just kind of click on here, just like a kind of like a clothespin. It's difficult to do with one hand. Okay, so they clip onto those screws. You push it up over top of this rocker, and it keeps your rocker right in place, just like so. And that's one valve down. We got like 8 more to go. All right, one thing to remember when you're setting the valve lash is make sure that your cam is pointed upwards.
So you're on the base circle of the cam.
Base circle, the flat side for your non-technical people. And that's the side you're gonna be measuring from. If you measure from the actual lobe, you're gonna be way off. This thing right here is a feeler gauge. This is precise metal. It's a very precise measurement. And we're getting our gap of 0.010. All right, as you can see, the valve cover's going on at this point. These are LS coils?
LS coils.
Yeah, so a few little Chevy tidbits on a Ford motor. That's how you do it, Frankenstein parts. And next clip you see, we'll have this thing all connected back up, and hopefully we can get this thing to fire. All right, now it's time to test fire. Alright folks, unfortunately we're gonna have to end the video there. We were not able to get the Fox running tonight. It looks like there was some type of a timing issue. Aleem's gonna have to go back and look at the cam and probably take the cam out because there's something going on with the cam timing. Folks, what we got going on here is we had to end the last video abruptly because of the rain and the time, and the cams weren't properly configured. So Aleem worked on it. He got the cam set up straight, and we're actually headed back up to his place to get the car finished up and tuned. So you'll actually get to hear what the car actually sounds like. Also, this is the Fox's first time out in the city. We're in the traffic, basically testing out the worst case scenario, testing out the limits of this radiator and fan setup. It's about 85-90 degrees out here, and the temperature is holding in traffic at about 200 degrees. So it's not doing too bad. Hopefully things don't heat up any more than they are now, and we'll pretty much know how the car is going to do throughout the summer. Alright, so I'm here on the side of the highway. The car did overheat in traffic when once the traffic finally did get moving. You know, unfortunately that's just the way it is. So if anybody knows anything that's going to help me keep this thing cool better, definitely let me know, because I never want to do this again. Alright, so fast forward, I made it off the highway. We're here in the Turbo Fox with Aleem. We just picked it up. And as you can see, it is running not very healthy, but it is running. It's going to get a little bit more healthy this evening as we test it.
Mustang sounds good.
All right, so the Fox has been looked over. Throwing the hood back on it now. And we're gonna be taking both cars out for some driving and tuning time. As you saw before, the car is running great, but it's definitely got some potential that we can get out of it. Sort of a good day. We got both the Foxes with a sort of a decent tune on them. Unfortunately, now the Drift Fox is having cooling issues. It's probably related to the tune. We don't know. I guess that's just part of having a modded car. So we'll get that worked on. The Blue Turbo Fox will be back eventually, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.